Welcome to the IBSA World Games Blind Football for the next clash between the host nation England and one of the sport's superpowers in China. This promises to be an exciting one. England knowing they need to win to stand any chance of making the knockout stages, whereas a win for China would make sure of a place for them. But now we will enjoy, along with the crowds, the two national anthems.
Please stand, if you are able, for the national anthem of England.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King, God save our King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our King. Come on, boys!
Please remain standing, if you are able, for the national anthem of China.
起来，不愿做奴隶的人们，把我们的血肉筑成我们心的长城。中华民族到了最危险的时候，每个人被迫着发出最后的吼声。起来，起来，起来！我们万众一心，冒着铁的炮火，前进！冒着铁的炮火，前进，前进，前进！耶！
So the crowds are very much in the mood here ahead of this game. China are sitting atop Group B right now. They have one win and one draw after beating Germany 2-0 and then managing a 0-0 draw with Argentina. As for England, you can see they also got a 0-0 draw with Argentina, but they fell to Germany. Kutik with the only goal in that one. Those two teams face off after this one. That's a 6:30 kick-off. But you can see the crowd very much in the mood for this one. The atmosphere certainly building here. My name is Stuart Hodge. I will be guiding you through the action. Well, I'll be somewhat doing so, and then guiding me will be Dixie D. Dixie just making a few notes as he likes to do ahead of this game, which the anticipation really feels like it's in the air, doesn't it? As we have a look at the two teams. England going with Dylan Malpass, the goalkeeper, Owen Bainbridge, the captain, Daniel English, Effie Shimwell and Roy Turnham. As for China, they have Chu Huanchu in goal, Liu Meng, the captain, Zhang Jiabin, number 6, Yu Yutan and Zhu Ruiming. It's Zhang and Zhu who got the 2 goals against Germany. England yet to score in the competition so far. Dixie, do you think they have what it takes to break that deadlock for themselves in this one?
Yeah, they certainly got the capabilities of scoring numerous goals. I've known these players for years, and like Dan English has got a marvellous sweep foot on him. Roy Turnham, very good at dribbling, twisting and turning.
Good at turning them.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's early for a corny joke.
Yeah. And Effie Shimwell is a youngster who's just feeling his way, and he's scored loads and loads of goals in the domestic league last year. Yeah,
so I think having players that can have that goal scoring ability can make the difference, can't it? And you can see there's a packed schedule of action to enjoy in this competition as we move forward. I must say as well, there's a lot of build-up. It does seem like they're really selling the drama of this one, Dixie.
Yeah, this is a big game for England. It's win or bust here, really. There's no coming back from this. If they don't perform today, they're basically packing their suitcases and going on. They'll play the lower ranked teams for the playoff places, but they don't want to be playing those. They want to be in a semi-final and finals, and I know the players. That's what the players want, and I'm sure they'll be given 100% to make sure that they get this result. Some people might say, well, that's a shock result, but I don't think it's a shock result. England are a good team, and they've taken Argentina are a good team, and they took those to a 0-0 draw, no problems at all. And we just lacked that goal-scoring touch at the end of it. So, they shouldn't feel like underdogs, and they got the crowd behind them, and the British weather's behind them, and so. They should be able to give it a good go, and I really do. They hope they do themselves justice out here today, and play up to their potential. If they play up to their potential and they get beat, well, fair enough. But it's when you play and you don't play up to your potential and you lose the game, you just think, after the Germany game, I was flat as a pancake because we just didn't play.
And just talking about China there as well, I did describe them as one of the sports superpowers. Tell us just about the history of the China team within this sport and just how highly they rank in the echelons.
Well, 20 years ago, there wasn't a team. And they've come on leaps and bounds, and in the last 10, 15 years, and they've travelled around the world looking at different training camps and sent people out to find all the best techniques. And typical of the Chinese, what they've done is they've taken all the best bits from everywhere else and they've taken them back to their training camp, and they're instilling that in their players. But as I say, 20 years ago there wasn't any blind football in China, so
they've come a long way.
They have come a long way in a short spell of time.
Yep, world number 6 now. England are world number 12, missing out on the number 13 spot, probably a good thing if you are superstitious.
I think that's Scotland.
Well, I'm going to make no comment. England at least are playing in white. I had a feeling that they might play in blue, and that would have been difficult, certainly, to deal with. But anyway, enough about that. The referees and the officials just checking the headgear and the eyewear just to make sure that there is no players that can see just a smidgen of something outside their field of vision. But it should say as well, all of the players in blind football are B1 category athletes. You can maybe just explain that.
Yeah, well, B1 category, the most sight that they can have to play this is a little bit of light perception. So they can see light and dark, so they'll see shadows and stuff like that. But they can't have any more sight than that, and that's rigorously checked before each tournament. And we're just about to start. Christian, the German referee, is going to get us underway.
Yeah, I should say, though, the goalkeepers are fully sighted. They can be partially sighted, but in this competition, all goalkeepers are fully sighted. And alongside the guide behind the goals, who helps the players when they are attacking, and the coach on the sidelines, those are the three protagonists who have full sight. So underway, and China just trying to move the ball around, keep a little bit of possession, get everyone a touch, and settle themselves here in what is, well, pretty much an away game. England fans in the crowd certainly making themselves heard as the ball now back with the captain Bainbridge, who gives it to Malpass, the goalkeeper. England now taking their turn just to compose themselves. Malpass launches it up the left.
Unlucky. Dan couldn't. That's.
It was towards English.
Yeah, FA.
Or Effie Shimwell, rather.
Yeah, he couldn't drag that under his spell. Here's Dan English coming down the other side. Big lad, Dan. Big, strong.
Yep, you described him as having a sweet foot. Certainly, he could be someone who could deliver that strike that England needs. You feel if they get one goal, then a few others could potentially follow. It's just about getting that first one.
Yeah, the floodgates could open if they score one. I think we'll go on and score 2 or 3. But it's getting that first goal and getting the confidence there and the belief that they deserve to be playing here. And he certainly didn't have that on Tuesday, but when they played Thursday, he looked a lot better, a lot sharper, and Coach Ben Adam he got round them a little bit in those 2 days, and they played a lot better.
Yeah, Adam Bendel, the coach, certainly has the ability to get a good tune out of these players. That's nice work from Effie Shimwell. Just trying to drive away through the centre of the Chinese defence, but there's plenty of players there. China have been quite methodical and possession-based so far. Now streaking forward, it was Liu Meng. Just halted in his tracks at halfway, but does turn on the centre spot near enough. And then a big collision into the boards. English certainly not scared to throw his weight around, but Liu Meng still coming. Now on the right-hand side. And just delivered the shot low, but it was wide of Dylan Malpass's post. But an early signal of intent there from China.
Yeah, it was a good effort. He's gone from sort of left to right and tried to pull it back across the keeper. But off cue this time, as FA's got the ball down in the bottom corner.
Shimwell certainly good at the hold-up play against the sideboard.
He's looking for Roy Turner. Roy Turner is fantastic dribbling of the ball. He'll twist and turn and go all over the places. He is quality.
I can't believe it took me 30 seconds to resist that joke. Apologies to anyone at home. Yeah,
that's a corner to England. So they've settled down quite well. It's okay at the moment. China have had one sort of breakaway and a shot that was well off target. So they'll be happy with that at the moment. We just need to see England get some shots off. And there's an old adage in football, isn't there? If you don't shoot, you don't score.
Very true.
And
an interesting factor for me in the early stages of this one is we've just watched a thriller, a 5-goal thriller between Italy and Thailand. You can maybe hear the wind whipping up in the background here, because although it's warm and sunny, there's certainly a breeze blowing in fairly frenetic gusts occasionally. But yeah, it was a thriller between Italy and Thailand. This one, just both teams being a little more methodical, a little more patient, possession, just trying to play their way into the game rather than going hammer and tongs at it.
Yeah, it's a bit more measured, isn't it, than the first game.
That's a good word. I like it. Turnham trying to create something there. He was on the left edge of the box, just crowded out eventually by Chinese players. But certainly evidence of what Dixie was talking about, that sweet touch and technique that he has. As Zhang Jiabin, the Chinese captain, tries to drive through the middle of the team, but in the end, Effie Shimwell, big tall figure, manages to stop him in his tracks and dishes it off to Turnham, who brings it back in centre field. Players around him, and they hit the deck, and eventually possession back with China. Well, that was a decent run from Turnham. English trying to win possession back for England. Good pressure from English, and it eventually yields possession. And then he tries to get the shot off. It takes a deflection, and that's great work from Daniel English to earn the corner for England.
Yeah, Dan's done particularly well there. He's cut across and he's battled away till he's got possession of the ball, and it opened up for him just for a half a second. He managed to get his shot away, but it was quickly shut down by the Chinese defence, and it's deflected out for a corner. So we've got Roy Turnham and Effie Shimwell taking that corner.
So can England take advantage of the set piece here? 3 players in and around the box, one at the other side.
Good substitution for China.
It's quite a quick one. Just wondering if Yu Tans maybe picked up a knock. Coming on is Lee Haifu, wearing number 8. Meanwhile, the England substitutes just keeping warm. Close to our commentary position here. So 2 players around the corner. Daniel English in there, just causing a bit of havoc in the box. And Owen Bainbridge, the skipper, just standing near the halfway line should the ball break back towards the English goal.
Yeah, the referee's pulling Dan English around, but Dan can go and stand where he wants, It's no problem. Roy Turner just coming across the area, trying to dribble it round, and it's broken away, and Owen Bainbridge is coming back towards his own goal.
Bainbridge trying to just make sure he knows where the ball is, but after it as well was Zhang.
It's good shepherding by Owen Bainbridge there.
Then Malpass gets us restarted quite quickly. Turnham now streaking down the left sideboard, tries to take on his man, the substitute Lee. And it goes behind. A China goal restarts. And then frustration shown from Zhu Ruimeng, who was chasing the ball down the right-hand sideboard towards the goal line. Couldn't quite get it under his spell and then thumped the board in frustration.
Oh, yeah, he's quite angry with himself, wasn't he? But we're going again with Dan English down the right-hand side. He's coming inside now.
Looks to have settled into the game, Dan English. That pass was just through the middle. Wasn't quite in Shimwell's direction. And now China coming the other way. Liu Meng, who loves to dribble, ends up on the deck. Didn't quite come off that time, but definitely those runs from deep from Liu Meng for China look to be a danger for England. They will need to remain wary of that threat. English runs into trouble, and it's Zhu bringing things away for China. He's around the centre spot now, just calmly keeping possession. Interesting this. China obviously know their position in the group. It's England who need to chase goals and chase points here. And here's Lee, the substitute, on the right side boards, streaking towards the England box, and Turnham managed to get a foot in there.
So it's a corner to China.
So corner given.
China don't think it is because they've all run back into their defensive positions. But yeah,
it was a correct decision.
It was a correct decision by the officials. It is a corner, and they're making a way there. It doesn't matter how long it takes them to get you because the clock is stopped and on 9:25, so there's no time wasting in blind football at all. Doesn't make any difference. You know, the clock is only running when the ball is in play.
Yeah, a lot of people would like to see that adopted widely in football, and you can see why, because when the ball is in play here, it is non-stop action. Now, you will have seen that Dylan Malpass, the England goalkeeper, stationed his defence quite meticulously. That just runs across Turnham, and a chance here for Zhu for China. Host of English players that he needs to try and drive through, but he's showing great close control. Break of the ball comes from now, and he's got space for the shots.
That's a corner.
But it goes behind for the corner, and then there's a heavy challenge going in from Owen Bainbridge as well, and Zhu just grabbing, I think it's his foot, maybe his Achilles.
See, the problem then, as a coach, with what's happening there, is the England players are jockeying, and the Chinese players have got the ball 8 or 9 yards out, but the English players are not engaging with them. When I say engaging with them, I mean getting a hand on them, to feel them. Because if you haven't got that hand on the body, if he twists and turns, you don't know which way he's going. If you get a hand on the body and you twist your shoulder, you know which way he's going, and China taking a corner.
Yep. Ball back in play, and then the shot flashes well wide.
Straight into our tent.
Yes, exactly. I had to produce some goalkeeping reflexes of my own there to avoid our monitor and my glasses flying off. It's all fun and games in Birmingham. Here's Zhu for China, who's presenting some early problems for England on that left flank. Liu gets it forward down the sideboard straight to Zhu, whose markers had all abandoned him, chasing the ball. Now Zhu just buys a bit of time again. And this is really disciplined stuff from China, and you imagine fairly frustrating for England. It's a good run from Zhang.
Okay. England won't mind them shooting from that position. They're not going to score from there. But I say, just reiterating the fact, when you're going to try and tackle, you must get an arm on the player so you know where he is. And that's what disappoints me about some of these English players. They don't get tight enough. You know, we watched the Japanese, didn't we? And they would have 4 players around, all touching, and it's very effective. But yeah, we missed that a little bit because me chops in away there. Dan English running down the right-hand side, and he smashed the ball into the side netting.
What you can see with English is he's tall, he's big, he's strong. When he manages to get ahead of steam going, he's hard to stop. And that was in evidence there, but the angle was just against him as he tried to catch out the Chinese goalkeeper, Xu Wanxu.
He's very similar to Yobo, isn't he? The Italian guy.
Paulie Yobo scored a hat-trick for Italy earlier, 5 goals in the competition. If you haven't seen Italy's games so far, then he is must-see viewing, an absolute superstar of the sport. As Zhu, who's been everywhere for China in an attacking sense, was chasing that one down the right flank this time, but didn't manage to get there. Now English streaks forward, and Turnham, who's been sitting a little bit deeper as this game has progressed, gets it back to Malpass. Nice teamwork there from those two. Effie Shimwell just waits for that to arrive on the left sideboard and then steps inside. But China have the cavalry marshalled in their defensive third to halt England. It's now English on the right.
Yeah, that's a corner. Well done, Dan. Dan's he's a cultured footballer, Dan. He's measured, and you could see what he was trying to do there. He was trying to square it across the Shimwell. We just need to step it up a little bit more aggressive, get in their faces a little bit more. And especially when we're attacking, we're a little bit, I don't know, am I going to do this, am I going to do that? Get aggressive in there and sort of force the issue a little bit more. And you put the Chinese team under pressure and you'll create a chance for yourself, I'm sure.
So, corner for England. Turnham's over, and now Bainbridge going across as well. Shimwell stationed on the left-hand side.
And it looks like England are going to make a substitution very far. I can see Brandon Coleman going for a very physical warm-up.
Turnham steps in to give himself an angle, but again, China have plenty of players behind the ball. And it's just quite a hard wall, the Great Wall of China maybe, to penetrate.
It certainly is. They defend very similar to what the Japanese defend, don't they? They get close around the ball, make it very difficult.
Is that an Asian thing? Because we saw something similar from Thailand as well. It does seem to be a pattern.
It is. As I say, I think in the Thailand game, I said, it could be because the stature of the population over that way, being a little bit smaller in stature, that they feel it more necessary to group up and rather than do it individually.
Indeed, one man who's not small in stature is Zhu, and he is still dragging the ball. He's now on the right-hand side and hammering a shot towards Malpass's goal, but England's turn to crowd the bodies in there, and Dan English in a bit of a panic got rid of that one and straight back to Xu Wanshu, Chinese goalkeeper. Now Zhang, talented player, the Chinese captain. And then his opposite number, not in terms of numerically, but the England captain, Bainbridge, with the challenge. And actually doing what you were asking for, Dixie. Getting an arm in, engaging.
Yeah. That's what we want.
Shimwell. Now Turnham. Good little and large double act, those two, when they get their rhythm going together.
Go on, keep blowing on. Go on, don't stop.
Bainbridge is after that one. Now Liu Meng is across for China. Shepherds that one behind.
Yeah, the Chinese goalkeeper's thrown the ball over the halfway line. Can't do that. He's got a bounce in his half, so it'll be an indirect free kick to England on the halfway line, and at that time England are taking advantage of calling the timeout.
I think that's probably a good idea.
And I said all that without taking a breath.
Just under 5 minutes left in this first half. Has it followed a pattern that you would expect, Dixie, with China just knowing the position of things and making sure they keep possession, not make any mistakes, keep it tight at the back? And then England, I think, at times showing flashes, but overall just a little disjointed, maybe. Yeah,
I think you're right. Like a draw does China. Yeah, that puts them through. So they don't need to overextend themselves. And there's a couple of highlights coming through now.
So you can see here, there's that Dan English opportunity where he showed his strength. And then Zhu for China. Got the break of the ball there, but he has looked really keen on both flanks to try and engineer an opportunity. And he does look like the danger man. Already has one goal in this competition and hasn't quite managed to hit the target yet, but definitely has the ability to create an opening. whether that's for himself or for a teammate.
I'll tell you something though, it's going to have to be a good shot to beat Dylan Malpass. He's a fine goalkeeper. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world without a shadow of doubt. And if he's going to get beaten today, it's going to be a cracking goal. I've worked with Dylan for a good few years, and
your old position, of course.
Yeah, and he's a really good, honest lad. And the amount of training that he puts into so he can perform at his best is amazing.
How does the training differ for a fully sighted blind football goalkeeper to a standard football goalkeeper?
They do a lot of leg work, splits, challenging like splitting and stuff like that. So they're very much more flexible than like your Premier 6'6" goalkeeper. So it's a lot of close work and reaction work. And
good run here from Zhang, and he is felled.
Is it inside or out?
I think it was just outside the box.
That was close.
And that was a lucky break for England, but there's a yellow card being shown as well. And I think understandably so. There's an element of the cynical about that one.
Yeah, we'll see the replay of it. Yeah, it was sloppy defending again.
Yeah, it's a tug there.
Yeah, deserved the card. Right, they've got to defend this properly. We've got 4 men in the wall, and 2 real big lads, so it ain't going to go up and over. That's for sure.
So talk us through the free kick protocol for any newcomers.
Right, so what will happen, the referee will place the ball on the spot where he wants it taken from. Then it's up to the goalkeeper. He'll indicate to the goalkeeper, this is your time. So the goalkeeper then organises his wall. He'll then say to the referee, okay, I'm okay. Then he has to be quiet and the wall has to be quiet. They mustn't say a word. Because then it's the attacking guy behind the goal, it's his turn, and he will come and tap the posts and tap the bar or whatever he may do.
Can see him doing it now, Li Jin, the Chinese guide.
Yeah, so you can see Kristen has pushed the wall back. He'll turn round, look at Dylan. Dylan Malpass will give him a thumbs up. So he's looking. Yeah, Dylan's happy. And now it's the attacking coach.
Crouching low, Dylan Malpass just surveying it, tapping the posts. It's going to be Zhang who rolls it for the substitute Li Haifu.
So the referee's just gone in now and told the wall and Dylan that they cannot say another word. It's the attacking guide's turn. And here we go.
In the arena, as Haifu strikes it, and what a save! Dylan Malpass living up to the billing you gave him, Dixie.
Yeah, it's gone down to Dylan's left, and somehow he's managed to scoop that up and over the bar. That was some save because it was hit with some force. But as I say, I'm not blowing my trumpet. I mean, Dylan he's world class.
Venomous strike, stunning reflex save. China now taking the corner. It's Yu Tan who's back on the field. And Li Haifu, the substitute, who's been influential, finds Zhang, the captain, trying to find an angle for the strike, but a cluster of 4 English bodies on the edge of the box managed to stop it. Now, Dan English plays it back to his goalkeeper as the de facto home team just try to recover a bit of composure after some Chinese pressure. Effie Shimwell now streaking down the left along the sideboards.
Can't keep it in.
Little unlucky there. That one was thrown with a lot of spin from Xu Huanshu, the Chinese goalkeeper. And England throwing bodies to the ground to make sure that it doesn't manage to penetrate their defensive third. Now Shimwell, some good hold-up work against the sideboards. Gets it back to Turner. The Chinese wall of 4 in front of Turnham, but he manages to get round 2 of them. It's good defending in the end from China. And now Liu Meng, who loves to dribble out from defence. Definitely capable of scoring a wonder goal in this tournament, Liu Meng.
Yeah, it's a good decision by Christian on the far side there. There was a foul on Efe Shinwell. Referee decided to let it go a little bit to see if he could gain seek an advantage from it, but they couldn't be, so he's dragged it back, and he's given England a free kick right on the halfway line.
So free kick on halfway. Interesting how these differ from free kicks on the periphery of the box, Dixie. What kind of tactics might you employ here to try and fashion an attacking opportunity?
Well, they've gone for the chip option, which was obviously the wrong option because that's not going to work. Normally, they'll just get one player wide. This is going to run out, so we can talk. They'll put one player wide on the board, two on the ball, and they'll tap it from one to the other, and the player will usually go down the opposite side to where they put the player out. So if they put the player out on the left-hand wall, he'll go down the right-hand wall and try and switch the play back into the far post. That's normally, they went for the chip option then, which was the wrong option. And we were talking about goalkeeper training. They train with tennis rackets and tennis balls.
Wow.
So your coach will be 6 meters away from you, whacking a tennis ball at you, just to get the speed of reaction up.
Anyone who's fully sighted at home will see that Brandon Coleman has come on wearing number 7 for England. One for Roy Turnham, maybe just to offer a different kind of threat. Trying to make himself available for Dan English, who just trips over the ball but manages to get back to his feet well. Up against the sideboard, tries to get round Zhang, but Zhang, despite being smaller in stature, is stout in the challenge. Zhang still trying to fashion something, and it's a first touch now for Coleman. Bainbridge over to help against the left sideboard. England just on the edge of their own defensive third, and then it's launched up to the right-hand side, and Shimwell just couldn't get a foot on the ball. If he had done, it would have been a great attacking position. Xu Huanshu throws another one of his throwing star restarts.
That's good blocking by Dan English there. He spread his body on the halfway line, made sure that throw from the Chinese goalkeeper wasn't going to get through.
Not the first time he's done that either.
No, it's a good play. He can do that as long as it's not a Chinese player within 2 or 3 yards of him. If there is a Chinese player within 2 or 3 yards, he'll give a foul away, because you can't do it if you're in close proximity to another player. It's good run here by Dan English.
It's halted by Zhang, and that is some work from the Chinese captain. Felled the great redwood tree that is Dan English to nip that one in the buds. Under 90 seconds left now of this opening half. It's been fairly even in the last. China probably the better of the first 10 minutes, but it's been fairly even since then. This a good chance to engineer an opportunity maybe, though. It's Yu Tan.
Can you see when I'm saying get an arm on him? Look, they're 2 yards away. That's not marking. That is not marking.
It's a nice switch of play to Lee. Lee up against the left sideboard. Gets the better of English. Now up against Bainbridge. Gets past both. Nearing the touchline. Plays it back along the sideboard to Zhang, the skipper.
That's better.
Trying to unleash a shot. Now Yu Tan picks up the scraps on the right hand side. Coleman in to challenge him. The 2 number 7s.
We've got 25 seconds to go.
Zhang, the Chinese captain, is a metronome in the midfield. Just keeping that side ticking. Shimwell, though, manages to shuffle possession from him. England have 13 seconds left to try and make something happen. It's English into the last 10 seconds. Can the hosts get a shot off? Doesn't look like it. And we will end the first half goalless here between England and China. Both of these teams drew 0-0 against Argentina, and so far that's the result that we have here. But it's not for want of trying, Dixie.
No, there's been some reasonable efforts by England, and certainly China have worked Dylan Malpass once or twice as well. So it's been fairly even, Stevens, at the moment, and I think we can look for the second half and look to go forward and keep this game flowing in the same momentum as what it is at the moment. It's been refereed well by the 2 guys coming off now. They've done a good job. The players have done a good job. And so everything's quite happy at the moment. And yeah, we'll have some highlights for you in a minute, I would think.
Yes, I mean, in this group so far, we have only had just the 3 goals. So, defence is very much on top in Group B.
That was good defending by Owen Bramridge to get across and put a block and use Dan. Again, the Chinese shut the door on him.
It's that central area where China managed to just assemble all of their players, and there's no real gap, there's no angle to go at.
But that's the golden position. If you're attacking that,
absolutely,
that's the golden position, because it opens up the whole goal for you.
Of course.
You know, if you're coming from an angle, it's got to be a worldie to hit it. You know, if you get in the middle and, you can go left, right, high, low. You know, that's where you want to be. And, you rightly say, Stuart, the Chinese cut that angle down.
Yes, and at the other end, Zhu has been the danger man. But this was the big chance of the first half.
Good.
It's a brilliant strike from Lee Hai-Fu.
He's going the other way.
And it's an even better save from Dylan
He goes
Malpass.
right first.
You can see that.
Yeah, he goes right first, and then he comes back on his left-hand side.
So Dylan Malpass, wrong-footed by that one, but still produced one of the saves, if not the save of the tournament so far. Fantastic goalkeeping from Dylan Malpass, and that keeps the score deadlocked at 0-0 as we head into half-time. We'll be with you for the second half shortly, but before that, if you are a newcomer, we have a very handy guide to blind football to introduce you to the sport, and then a word from IBSA, as this is the IBSA Games. So we'll join you for the second half very shortly. Thank you.
It's fast, technical and tense. This is your guide to five-a-side football. There are 5 players per team, 4 outfield players and a goalkeeper. The aim of the sport is to score a goal by kicking the ball into your opponent's goal, and at the end of the game, whoever scored the most wins. Players must wear eye shades to ensure that all players have the same level of vision. That is apart from the goalkeepers, who aren't required to wear eye shades and can be fully sighted. Their job is to keep the ball from going in the goal behind them. But how do the players on the field know where the ball, or indeed the goal, is? Well, the ball in blind football is specially designed to make sound whenever it moves. Also, each team has a guide behind the opposition goal to help direct them. Each player is required to shout "Voy" when going for the ball. This ensures every player has the cues they need to help build a picture of what's going on and what to do next in defence or attack. To help this, total silence is required from the crowd until a goal goes in. Voy is Spanish for go, and it was the Spanish who were credited with originally developing blind football in the 1920s. As well as the Paralympics, teams from all corners of the world can compete at World, European, Asian, African and America's Championships, as well as a World Grand Prix.
Blind football can be played by both men and women, with the historic first Women's World Championships coming up in 2023.
So what are you waiting for? Give it a try.
IBSA, International Blind Sports Federation, presents, with the support of the International Paralympic Committee, IBSA Anti-Doping App, the first application of its kind in the Paralympic movement, specifically designed for blind and visually impaired people. Athletes, coaches, medical staff, managers, and the public in general now have a powerful tool to stay focused on the principles of clean sport. Scrolling down the main menu, you can find all the important themes you need to know to play fair and be alert to testing procedures and necessary adaptations for athletes with visual impairments. IBSA gives top priority to anti-doping control, being the only international federation with 3 sports in the Paralympic family: goalball, football, and judo. IBSA Anti-Doping App has external links, namely to WADA, where our sport agents can always find the most updated information, especially the list of prohibited substances and methods. Glory in sport can only be achieved by the athlete's awareness of their rights and responsibilities. You can find them on the IBSA Anti-Doping App. IBSA is continuously promoting anti-doping education to all its affiliate athletes and sport agents, not only about the consequences of the use of doping and the risk of using supplements. IBSA believes that education is the major tool to fight doping in sport. Informed athletes can make better decisions. Download the app now at the usual operating system stores.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have seen history being made today.
Such a great team at these championships.
IBSA. Beyond sight. Feel the sport.
A very warm welcome back to balmy Birmingham, where England are playing China in front of a very vocal crowd here at the IBSA World Games. This is Group B action. China sitting top of the group with 4 points. England needs to win to stand a chance of making it to the knockout stages, and they need to score as well, something they've not quite managed to do in 5 halves of blind football so far. China trying to get themselves very much in the mood. They also have some backing in the crowd as well.
There's loads of people behind our tent, Chinese, all up the back there. Loads of them, a couple of hundred of them at least.
Interesting. So we have spectators in the stand and spectators just standing. Earlier on today, Japan beat Turkey with a vital win to ensure that they fly through Group A. Italy won a thriller against Thailand 3-2. That track from Paulie Yobo in that one, a real superstar of the sports. After this one, we have Argentina, Germany. It was the final game of what some are calling the Group of Death. But first up, we have the second half of England, China, which is not long underway.
England have had a little change. Dan English has gone off, and one of the youngsters has come on.
Yes, it's Issa Amjid, who is on, wearing number 10.
Playing in his home city. He's born and bred Brummie, and so I'm sure he's got a few followers in the crowd. Nice lad, Issa. Yeah, he's a good lad, and he's been playing for about 3 or 4 years, I think, but he's been in the England squad for probably less than 6 months. So,
good opportunity for him to showcase his talent now.
Oh yes.
Interested to know what the thinking was, taking Dan English off, maybe just get him some rest and maybe one more flurry from him before all is said and done here.
They could be worried about the card.
Yeah, that could be a factor as well.
Because he got a yellow card, so they're probably thinking, well, 15 minutes on one card is a long time to play.
Especially when you play in that style.
Dan's all action, like he doesn't know how to hang back, so they're probably thinking, well, let's get him off and bring him back on for the last 5 minutes, and if he does get sent off, then oh yes, there we go. The Austrian family, the two Angerherd twins, and the mother is a guide for Austria. A right family affair going on there.
Yes, indeed. Does England have a corner? Just not quite come to anything. It's Coleman. Amjid managing to make something of it, and now England have it just on halfway. It's Turnham back on the field and back trying to make something happen. Nice chip ball. Amjid is after that one. If he can keep it in, this could be a good chance for England to launch something. Does have support further up the sideboard if he wants it. Uses it now in Coleman.
Needs to switch it. Good. That's better play by England. Pressing the ball around a little bit.
You can see Adam Bendel has clearly asked them to work on switching the play. Turnham manages to wriggle free and he's gone down in the box.
No.
The officials say no penalty.
No, there was nothing in that. Royce kicked his foot.
Glad you're remaining impartial there. I was getting a bit excitable, Dixie. Amjid just loses possession. But China under the cosh a bit in the opening 2 minutes of the second half.
Get a hand on him. That's better. That's what I mean by getting a hand on him. All right, he's giving a foul away, but at least he's got a hand on. And in fact, the free kick has gone to England.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the keys. As you can see, lots of faces in the crowd, people managing to get along here and enjoy this in what is lovely weather. There's just enough of a breeze that the heat is not too sweltering.
Yeah, what else are you going to do on a Saturday night at 5 o'clock?
Indeed. Indeed. Nice switch of play again from England. Turnham's after it, but it's well anticipated this time by Zhang. The Chinese captain now streaks over halfway, pulls to the right-hand side. He's got a few defenders after him.
That's all right. That's all right. That's good. Yeah, it's broke up the play.
And that is more like what you were asking for, Dixon.
Yeah, it is. As I say, you get the hand on them and you know where they're going. And Roy's eye shades and his head guards come off and bits of equipment flying all over the place. But it breaks up the play. It stops them running.
Indeed. So just gathered as the officials make sure everything is up to codes. It's going to be a drop ball restart. Who's your money on here?
Whoa. It's a drop ball. We ain't giving it to you, pal. You weren't in possession of it. The referee's just... he wants all the other players 5 metres away. He wants one English and one Chinese player around the ball. Everyone else 5 metres away.
That's right, and it's Brandon Coleman and Zhu Ruiming.
Brandon is quite a tough player, I can tell you. I've been hit by Brandon on the pitch, and once he hits you, you stay hit.
And it's Coleman who manages to get up against the sideboard and gain control of it. Almost like an ice hockey face-off. Now Malpass. Pass just deflects off the sideboard into the path of Zhang. Maybe a bit disappointed with the distribution that time, the England keeper, but you'll forgive him that after that wonder save.
There you go, the hand's on now. The hand's on, he's got him.
Half. Adam Bendel, if he wasn't listening to you, Dixie, he's clearly thinking the same thing.
Yep.
Zhang gets that down the sideboard under pressure from English defenders. Amjid went diving in, dived past the ball. Liu Meng.
It's a good job he didn't make contact with him, wasn't it? The exuberance of youth, I think you call that.
Indeed. Yu Tan has it for China. Lovely dribbling from Yu Tan. And he's got a decent angle if he wants to get the shot away. The close control is sublime. In the end, though, England do manage to win possession, and it's Brandon Coleman with a vital
that's a foul.
intervention.
No void there. Yeah, well done, Brandon. He's drawn a foul out from the Chinese, so it'll be an England free kick. Sort of 10 metres in their half, I expect. Yeah, it's a good 10 metres in their half.
So for newcomers to the sport, you said no voy.
Yeah,
the voy rule.
Voy is the international word that if the person with the ball doesn't have to say anything, but if you're going into tackle or defence, if you're a sort of metre and a half away, you have to say voy. It's a safety thing because obviously the tacker's going into a space, and if you don't say anything, he doesn't know you're there. So
yeah, exactly.
You're going to get head clashes all the time and stuff like that. So it's for safety. He says voy. The attacker, right, I've told you where I am. You go round me, not through me. And so that's the word.
Comes from the Spanish for I go, or I'm going. Has a good chance for Amjid.
He's given a penalty.
And a penalty.
No, has he? No, he hasn't. I think we're getting a bit excited there.
I went with you.
Yeah, he's got his arm up in the air.
So Issa Amjid went down in the box.
He's got his...
Just see a replay of it there.
So what's he getting?
It went right through to him, and then going to the deck was Liu Meng.
So he's given obstruction.
He did seem to win the ball in the challenge.
He's given obstruction against the Chinese. His arm's up in the air, so it's indirect.
So we can see that here. Now, if you are a newcomer to blind football, then these opportunities, free kicks on the periphery of the penalty area, are absolutely vital. So China also readying a substitute.
Yeah, please.
Li Haifu just about to come on. So as Dixie explained earlier.
Let's just have a look at this again, see what we can see is happening. Well,
an interesting decision to say anything.
I don't know what to make of that at all. It's either a foul or it's not a foul, and if it's a foul, it's a direct one.
But if you look at where the ball is placed as well, was it an infringement that happened off the ball, perhaps?
Well,
so this is interesting. We've got another angle at that one. Let's just have a look.
It doesn't matter what angle it is, it looks like he upended him.
So
he's got the ball there,
to the
comfortable.
left of the picture, and this is interesting. So, going through the protocol for a free kick, the goalkeeper lining his wall up meticulously, Xu Huanqu.
Yeah, well, I'd like to catch up with Christian a little bit later tonight and just ask him. You know, I'm intrigued. He's obviously seen something. He's a good referee, so I'm not going to argue against him. He's seen something I haven't.
So it's touched, and then a good opportunity blocked. Coleman's shot couldn't quite make it through. I think Xu Huanqu was beaten had that gone all the way through. But China assemble that wall once again, and England just cannot manage to break it down. It was a good set piece from England, though. Turnham now collides with Zhang. Zhang coming forward for China. Steps infield from the right, but he's stopped in his tracks. Though it falls to Zhang again, and the perfect opportunity to deliver a killer blow against England. And it's Zhang Jiaibin, the Chinese captain, who scores his second goal of the tournament. And England now face a mountain to climb to have any chance of staying in this one.
Oh, yes, they have got a mountain to climb now. Let's have a look at it again. He's taking it out wide. He's got it under fairly good control. He's come inside and he's come straight through the middle of them.
It was just a hesitation, and then Zhang was the most aware. He was the one that was most acutely attuned to where the ball was rolling.
Yeah, we got on the wrong side of him there, but we've still got 11 minutes to go, and someone's eye shades have come off. So Chinese eye shades have come off.
If you are wondering what's happened exactly there are small capsules in the ball which allow the players to hear it, and clearly Zhang was the one that was just most directly attuned. There was also an element of good fortune. It just fell for him, but he tucked it well below Dylan Malpass. And now England need something, a little bit of magic, do have a free kick.
Oh no, it's an uncontested drop ball because the referee stopped it because of safety.
This is why we have you, Dixie. Excellent stuff. So Coleman picks it up. He's just on the edge of the Chinese defensive third, going backwards though, trying to keep possession. It's good awareness to fire it out to the left. Turnham tries to get past Lee, does manage to on the left side board. The ball just rolling away though, and rolling behind. It did come off a Chinese leg last though, so it's going to be an England corner.
No, we've got a timeout. England have called a timeout. Adams obviously wants to get them in and just to group them back around together and refocus their minds and issue a couple more instructions, and probably more importantly to get some fluids on board.
Taking the same opportunity myself, Dixie. Very, very warm in Birmingham today. And here is the goal that got the crowd off of their seats. Great finish from Sang.
Yeah, he gave Malpass no opportunity to get anywhere near that one, unfortunately.
It does seem to be a feature I've noticed in the sport, Dixie, where if you can, it's almost like the drop of the shoulder, or they talk about giving the keeper the eyes or whatever, that kind of idea where it's you almost shimmy, you dummy, and then you wrong foot them.
Yeah, well, what you're trying to do is put the goalkeeper down, as you say. You know,
that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, you put the goalkeeper down and you just lift it over him, and so they do like a stuttering run up to I suppose if you look at ordinary football, you think about Juninho.
Fantastic pronunciation, by the way.
Used to play for Chelsea and everything. With his stuttered penalty run up is exactly the same.
So corner to England. It's on the left hand side of the penalty area as England attack. China have a wall of 3 players in between the host players and the goalkeeper. Try to burrow away through, but it just goes straight to Xu Huanchu, who's gone for a more conventional form of distribution in this second half after firing the ball out in an almost kung fu fashion, maybe befitting of a video game. Lee for China, just going up that right hand side, and Coleman, who's been very industrious and hard working for England, shows his strength by winning the ball. He's now on halfway, just to the right hand side of the centre circle, before turning back inside and then sprays it to the left. Shimwell, good hold up play from him, trying to create the angle. So many Chinese players in though, and it's too hard for him to do so. And now Lee Haifu comes the other way. England certainly putting hands on Chinese players in the second half. Far more aggressive in their marking, Dixie, which is what you were calling for.
Yeah, they're getting to grips with it. It's just unfortunate that you went 1-0 down, but this is a much better performance by England than what we had on Tuesday against the Germans. And as I said before, you don't mind losing if you perform, but obviously you don't want to lose. But if you do lose, if you can come off and say, well, I gave it 100%, and we just weren't good enough on the day, that's fine. You can't argue with that. And then he's played it back to Malpass again, and
nice play from Coleman.
Oh,
he's just pushed over by Zhu, but gets back to his feet. Definitely see why the knee pads are needed. Coleman streaking forward and then very unlucky. The ball just bobbled up and then ricocheted off his foot as he was clean through on goal, just to the right hand side of the Chinese area, and that would have been the perfect opportunity to blast one at Xu Huanchu.
Yeah, it was excellent play by Brandon Coleman down this right hand side, and he just really unlucky. It all opened up for him and we thought he was in on goal, and it's just bobbled off the end of his foot and run away. There's Roy Turnham on amazing.
Great work from Turnham to win possession back, and then just leaves the ball behind him. It's just these small elements that are making it harder.
Yeah, it's a good shot from the Chinese again across the face of goal.
Zhu is the danger man. He does seem a real live wire up front. Hasn't quite been firing on target. He's the one other Chinese player to score in the competition other than Zhang Jianbin, the captain. Right on cue, here is Zhang, and he's tripped.
Well, I'd rather see someone trying to make a tackle.
So just have a look at the opportunity for Coleman again. You can see
He's gone
here,
round.
he's done the hard
Oh,
thing.
he's double touched it. As he's gone round, he's hit his left foot and onto his right foot. He was right in stride as well. Oh, he would have been clean in on goal there. Small margins. Small margins. Looks like we're on the substitution. Roy Turnham's going off, and looks to me like it's a big figure, so it must be Dan English coming on.
Bulky figure comes on. So now a lot of heft in the England team. Bainbridge, Shimwell, English.
Yeah, they're all 6 foot, all 6 foot plus.
Strapping English team here.
Some big lads on there now.
That is one area where England do have the advantage. Lee kicks that forward. England pick it up, and Coleman is really impressed in this game. Trying to get it forward, just tried to force the issue there and gives the possession away to Zhu, who streaks into the penalty box and then just streaks over the goal line. Unlucky. Malpass rolls it forward. Zhang slides into the challenge, but it will now break for English. Freshly back on the pitch, he'll be full of energy and industry, maybe, just in the corner of the penalty box. But Lee manages to do just enough. He's now up against the sideboard. 2 Chinese bodies around him, Lee and Zhang. English tries to force it through, does get it through Zhang's legs, and tries to create the angle. Now Shimwell trying to shimmy. Cannot find that way through. It's just frustrating right now.
Yeah, it was a little bit nice by FA there.
Could see what he was trying to do.
Yeah, as I say, if that had been Dan or Brandon, they would have been a little bit more physical with their bodies. But you know, it's, as I said earlier on, this is a learning curve for FA, and you'll learn lots from this, I'm sure.
So the ball switched over to the right sideboard, and Zhang has it for China, approaching halfway. Now comes inside into the central area, runs into Dan English and ends up prostrating the turf. And now Shimwell coming the other way. He's on the edge of the China box, and it deflects just wide. But that might be as close as England have come.
What a lovely little run by F.A. Shimwell. He's coming in from the left-hand post and left-hand board, and he's looking for the far post as we look for it. And
Shimwell definitely beginning to show what he can do.
Oh, here we go. We're getting a replay of it now.
Nothing to lose for England at this point.
There he goes. He's coming down the left-hand board, cutting in. Oh, there's a little toe poke through. Foot wide.
English and Coleman combine for the corner. Oh, but falls straight out of play as Coleman trying to return it to Dan English.
A substitution for China.
We'll bring on Xu Guansheng, number 9.
Oh, not for the moment.
Momentarily. Zhang fires it forward. It's to Bainbridge though. Bainbridge for England. The skipper trying to do it himself. He's streaking right through the centre of the pitch. Might fall for Shimwell. Bainbridge and Shimwell trying to make something happen. But Lee manages to just nab possession and come away with it for China. Just over 5 minutes to go. And it's the Chinese who have the advantage here. A win here will assure that they top Group B ahead of Argentina, Germany at 6:30 this evening. Here comes Shimwell for England though, trying to avoid that eventuality. It's good close control, but wasn't going anywhere purposefully, and China come away with the ball through Zhu. Good run from Zhu. It's good defending though from Bainbridge up against the right sideboard as China attack. Now England come the other way through English. shove there from Dan English against Zhang, and it's all getting a bit physical and feisty in there.
Yeah, and Dan's won the free kick for England. Indirect free kick again, so there's a bit of obstruction going on there. And this is a good response by England, I think. You know, Adam Bendel, he's got to be pleased with the way they've reacted to the nightmare of going 1-0 down. They haven't shrunk into their shells or anything. They're still giving it a go. And China will make the substitution now. Looks like
indeed they will.
Number 11's coming off, and he looks absolutely exhausted.
And understandably, Zhu Ruimeng has been all over the place, everywhere on the pitch. Right flank, left flank, through the middle.
The sweat was absolutely dripping off him. Oh my word.
And Xu Guangcheng on with number 9 on his back to try and maybe find a goal which would put the result here beyond all doubts. And here he is.
Dan has to be a little bit careful. Dan English, that is. And the Chinese player just got in his way, and Dan gave him a little touch.
Yeah, I'm also noticing that Effie Shimwell had his arm around the neck of Xu Guangcheng, who seems to have been given the brief of just carry the ball and help let the time run out. England eventually pick up possession. Brandon Coleman tried to measure that one, that pass down the right flank, a la David Beckham, but just overcooked it.
We got, what's going on now? Something's happening. Oh, we got a substitution.
So the crowd applauding.
Brandon Coleman's leaving the arena.
As Coleman exits.
And Roy Turnham's coming on. That was a good shift by Brandon Coleman. And, you know, to be fair, that's probably the best I've seen him play in 18 months or so. So, yeah, that was a good shift by him. He really put some effort in there. And, yeah, he's done really well. Quite pleased for him.
So 3 minutes and 40 seconds, as you'll see, left to go in this one. England, remember, need a win to hold any hope of making it through to the knockout stages. China, with a win, can secure their passage and top place in the group. We thought this one was going to be a bit tight, and it was going to be fine margins that decided at Dixie, and it seems, should the result turn out this way, that has been the case.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right, Stuart, because, you know, if you remember, we had the decision by the referee here just before they scored. You know, I jumped up in the air and said penalty, and the referee's put his arm up in the air and said no, it's an indirect free kick.
Indeed.
Fine margins.
That's it.
Fine margins. And I do believe we've got another game after this, haven't we?
We do. The action doesn't stop at the IBSA World Games.
I'm going to be shattered by the end of this. I tell you, I'm a nervous wreck in here. Absolute nervous wreck.
So, about to get back underway. So, Xu Huanqi, the Chinese goalkeeper, has possession. And there's another one of those throwing star style restarts off the left sideboard. Straight to Xu Guangcheng. He tries to make something of it.
Well, I don't know it.
And he's after it tenaciously. Bainbridge does just enough, and now English coming the other way. Runs into Lee though, on halfway. And China have possession again as Lee goes out to the right and then cuts back inside, and he has the angle to shoot here. Was unaware that the gap was there. Someone told him, and then he fired it over the English crossbar.
Yeah, see, in my book there, Owen's got to get closer to him. Owen Bainbridge, that is. He's got to get tighter to him, get an arm on him, stop him running. And but here we go, Dan English coming down this side.
English fires it in, and it was a good pass towards Shimwell, who just couldn't sort his feet out as he needed to apply the finish. But that was a good attack from England, very direct.
That was so close. He just needed a touch by young Effie Shimwell, and that would have been in the back of the net.
Xu Guangcheng coming the other way for China. There's Lee, in fact.
That's better, Owen.
Bainbridge with a good challenge. Now Dan English. He's up against the sideboards.
That's handball.
And then a handball from Xu Guangsheng.
I must apologise. I'm commentating like a supporter, aren't I?
That's all right.
Sorry.
We'll forgive you. I'm here to provide balance.
Oh, I'm sorry. When it comes down to England, I'm quite passionate. So please forgive me, all if there's any Chinese fans listening to this. It's not intentional. I can't help myself.
Well, you're a legend of the England team, Dixie. I think we'll let you off of that. Shimwell just tries to lever a shot, but can't get it on target. It goes wide of Xu's left-hand post. And we're now approaching the final 2 minutes of the game. Lee with a good run up the right sideboard for China. Gets the better of Turnham. But England defending far more aggressively in the second half. The captain, Owen Bainbridge, maybe actually he was instructed. The free kick goes his way.
Yeah, well, the Chinese player held the ball for 4 seconds between his feet. He didn't have much option, really, because Owen wasn't going to let him go anywhere, so that's a free kick to England. Can't keep the ball still. So this is what I mean about being aggressive. If you're aggressive, you force the issue. And Owen's done really well there. Fair dues to him. It's a lofted pass up.
These chipped shots seem to be in vogue right now. Shimwell trying to make it stick. He's a lot bigger than the other number 8, Lee Haifu. But it's Lee who comes away with the ball. Shimwell after him, though. Good battle on that left sideboard, close to the goal line. And once more, England get the benefit of the whistle as we tick into the final 88 seconds of the tournament, probably, for the hosts.
Yeah, you were saying about that lofted pass. If you know that's going to happen, it's a great skill, because when the ball's up in the air, it's not making any noise. So the opposition haven't got a clue where it is. And if your game plan is to use those, obviously you being the attacking team, you know where it's going. But once it's up in the air, they haven't got a clue where it's going, and it's a good tactic.
So England have a free kick in a good area here.
Yeah, number 11,
goal line.
Number 11 coming back on for China shortly.
By the left sideboards. I thought Zhu's race was run, but he's got a towel round him, so he's maybe just picking a good place to watch, as you can hear Lewis Skyers, the England guide, former backup goalkeeper, just tapping the posts.
Oh,
that one just flies out of play, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a bit wasted, that, really.
Dan English just
he is coming on the number 11.
So Zhu reaming.
Seems to be some debate on who's coming off.
Well,
number 3 is
play the last. No, it's going to be number 9. It will be Xu Guangsheng, the man who replaced him.
So we've got 94 seconds to keep England in this tournament. Oh, the tension.
I make it 84.
Oh, I can't count either.
It's all right. Standard grade maths I got.
Did you?
I think that's GCSE equivalent, but in Scotland it's only standard.
I don't know. Yeah, you don't have to tell me that.
Lee Haifu driving forward for China now comes into the central area. Do the Chinese team have a second goal in them? They did against Germany. Still not conceded in the tournament, remember. It's an important statistic to remember in terms of how well placed China are to compete here.
We're into the last minute. The time is running out for England here.
Zhang just moves the ball towards the right sideboard in the English defensive third. And now it comes to Lee, who has a chance to shoot, but just drags it wide.
They need to get up. They need to get up.
Mal pass, too much on the throat. Didn't bounce before halfway. And I think that's just born of frustration, really. And the rush with 40 seconds left.
Yeah, he's just got a bit overexcited there, and in the rush to get the ball forward, he's launched it over the halfway line, which you can't do because you've got to bounce into your own half. And the Chinese will have an indirect free kick on the halfway line. and 40.3 seconds to go. And that 0.3 might be important.
Always can be. Lee Hai-Fu in absolutely no rush, just moves it across the right sideboard, then back inside, and here's Zhang, who's been so impressive. Midfield maestro for China, runs through and is then denied by Malpass. Turnham then needs to pick up the ball, but he runs into trouble. Less than 15 seconds to go, and Zhang fancied a second for himself and a second for China.
There's 11 seconds left on the clock. Dylan Malpass has launched it down again. It's going to go for a corner.
It's ricocheting around Shimwell.
Come on, this is your last chance, England. You've got 7.5 seconds. Get the ball in the back of the net.
Certainly would give this home crowd something to remember. Roy Turnham and Dan English over. 7.4 seconds.
Yeah, Roy's going to run away with this. Dan's going to be the touch player, and Roy's going to do a little mazy run, but he hasn't got long. There he goes. He's going around in the arc.
Coming from the right.
That's a foul. Oh.
And Turnham is felled, and England, with 4 seconds left, have a free kick right on the edge of the Chinese area. It's a very similar position to the one where Lee Hai-Fu produced a world-class save from Dylan Malpass. Almost identical, in fact.
Yeah, you're right. It's two foot outside the area, in line with the goalkeeper's left post, really. So
interesting moment to finish the game, this, Dixie.
Yes. And if we start summarising it now before this happens, it might be a good thing. To be fair, as an English person and supporter, I'm really proud of the way they've played. You know, as I said to you before, if you're going to go out, don't go out with a whimper. You know, and they've really put everything on the line here today and played ever so well, and just been a little bit unlucky in front of goal, and gave away a goal which on another day they might have stopped.
I think Brandon Coleman in particular.
Oh yeah, he's done really well today, and he needs to take that forward into other games. And we've got these youngsters coming on as well, so they're only going to get better. And we'll shut up now because we're about ready to go.
Yep, Lewis Skyers will be about to strike the posts. Xu Wanchu has set his wall. 4 seconds on the clock. It's Lewis Skyers providing the auditory guidance for Dan English. English is charged down by Zhang, and that is a block befitting of the man who's surely the man of the match, Zhang Jiaibin, the Chinese captain, who scored his second goal of the tournament to carry China into the knockout stages. For England, though, the tournament comes to an end with just a single point after a 2-0 defeat to Germany, a 0-0 draw with Argentina, and the 1-0 defeat here, Dixie. A word, firstly, though, about today's winners. How impressive have China been?
They're a good side. They're a hard, workmanlike side. They move the ball around really quickly. They defend in numbers and in depth. They attack quickly. Once they've won the ball at the back there, they break out really fast. And for the smaller statured people, they're really quite strong as well. Like a low centre of gravity. And
the home crowd just giving a huge.
Oh yes, look at that. That's great, isn't it?
That's great to see. Yeah. China and England lapping up the applause here.
I don't know how many thousands of miles China is away from the UK, but there's so many Chinese people up in the crowd, and the Chinese players have gone over and they're thanking them, and the England players, to their credit, they're doing exactly the same as well. They must be disappointed.
Yeah, they do look a bit dejected, but it's a nice moment, I think, for the sport, isn't it? The host nation and the victorious nation, both just getting the honour of the crowd.
Well, that's what it's all about. As a player, all right, you might be disappointed, Well, you will be disappointed. There's no might about it. You will be disappointed. But, you know, people, you know, the parents now who travelled hundreds of miles and thousands of miles over the years. Okay, we've got some replays coming for you.
Here we have the best of the action. And there is the goal, firstly. The most important of the highlights, Zhang Jiabin with the goal for China. And you can see for England it's just a lapse maybe in concentration or a lapse in the auditory side of the game. Zhang was just more attuned to where the ball was, and then the finish below Malpass, probably really hard to stop. You'll know better than me, Dixie.
Yeah, to be fair, the Chinese player is right on top of Dylan, and you know, he's made a decent contact on the ball, and you know, Dylan's had no time to react to that at all.
Yeah, in England, it's just a story of frustration.
Oh, look at that, how close that was.
And you can hear in the background the Chinese players getting a real round of applause. There's a gathering of Chinese fans behind us.
It's inches away from that far post. Small margin, we said it before in the commentary, you know, it is small margins, and
I think England were unfortunate that those margins just didn't go in their favour.
No, look,
things like that, that's a great pass, and Shimwell just
could have
gone
in off a Chinese player just as easy as it could have gone in off Effie Shimwell. Yeah, it wasn't to be. But as I said, I was saying earlier on that you know, they've gone out, and when they've left the tournament, they've gone out with a bit of pride and a bit of passion, and they've worked really hard and they've shown something. They didn't lose this tournament today.
No, definitely
not.
They
lost this tournament Tuesday. That was the problem, was Tuesday, not today, not against Argentina. It was Tuesday, and yeah, I know Adam would be bitterly disappointed not to proceed.
Disappointment, as you say, for Adam Bendel and England. But China do march through to the quarterfinals. They will top the group with 7 points, 3 goals for, and yet to concede. To decide who will be joining them, Germany will face Argentina at 6:30 p.m. Germany currently on 3 points, Argentina on 2. That one is not to be missed. But that's it for us here for now from the IBSA Games Blind Football. Final score is China 1, England 0.